Alright, let's talk about the top 5 most iconic weapons to ever bless the game mode of zombies. And no, we're not including wonder weapons in this list. This is strictly actual guns that we use throughout the decade-plus year history of Treyarch Zombies games. And I'm going to be ranking the top 5 best and most iconic ones. Now, number 5 in this list comes from Black Ops 3, and it is, of course, the Haymaker. This weapon, I'm going to be real, it's pretty much one of the only weapons in Black Ops 3 that I actually liked. The weapons in Black Ops 3 did kind of suck, I'm not gonna lie. They didn't feel good, especially coming from like the previous games like World at War through Black Ops 2. These guns were just a massive L, but the Haymaker shined for 2 reasons. One is, I mean, it was just insanely overpowered. Pretty much everyone trying to do Easter egg runs and trying to get the world record at the time were using the Haymaker because it was just so effective and so reliable at getting you out of tricky situations without the need of a wonder weapon. The ammo count was generous, the damage was insane. And then of course with Black Ops 3 we had alternate ammo types, and if you threw dead wire or blast furnace on this thing, you were basically unstoppable. Often dubbed a futuristic AA-12, this is a fully automatic shotgun that did not disappoint. Sounds beefy, it felt beefy, as an automatic shotgun should, and it was just a home run amidst a sea of very boring weapons. It also helped that via the mystery box, this weapon was available in every single map on Black Ops 3. So if you got familiar with the weapon, it could cover your back in quite literally every map the game had to offer. Whilst I'd still consider it a relatively boring weapon, if I'm being objective here, it was reliable, it did the job, and was definitely the most iconic weapon from Black Ops 3 that wasn't the wonder weapon. But following number 5, we have number 4, and in a sea of fanboys for the AUG, the Commando, the AN-94, and so on, there was one gun that shined in the AR department on Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. In my opinion, this weapon did not get enough love, and of course, that is the Galil. Now, the particular versions that I'm talking about are the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 Galils, and these weapons were just phenomenal. I mean, they were basically the same in both games for context. But with the Black Ops 1 Galil, for example, a lot of people in the AR department, like I said, loved the Commando and loved the AUG in that game. But the Galil also had a very intense damage output and actually had more ammo in reserve than any other assault rifle in the game, which was very important because in the days of Black Ops 1, max ammos were like a saving grace. Because like back in these days, if it wasn't a war weapon, you weren't getting ammo until Samantha said so. There was no special ammo crate where you could just run up and buy ammo whenever you like. So having a large ammo pool in an assault rifle, so you didn't actually need to lug around the slow mobility of an LMG, made this Galil really stand out. Not only that, but it went on to shine in Black Ops 2 as well, where the Galil was available in every map, just like in Black Ops 1, and again, does an exceptional job of just being an all-round brilliant weapon. It didn't have any undermounted attachments like the AUG or the M16, but being real, those undermounted attachments became useless pretty quickly anyway, so in my opinion, in terms of ARs, the Galil always has been the best, especially with the Black Ops 1 variant. It looked great, it sounded great from the firing to the reload sounds. It was just all a very satisfying weapon to use. I feel like it's very similar to the Python that was also Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, in that if you're a dedicated zombies player, you knew that these weapons were actually brilliant, even though they were kind of slept on. It's just a goated weapon. It just is. But moving on to number 3 now, we have one of my personal favorites, and that is the MG42 from World at War. To anyone that was there for this game, I don't need to explain why this weapon's here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Browning, like it feels so nice to use, but the MG42 objectively is far more iconic. The fire rate was tremendous. The ammo pool was exceptional. Strong damage and it was just a brilliant weapon. Like, it destroyed everything. Especially for the iconic Darius catwalk strategy, this weapon was an absolute must to have in your inventory. Especially when Pack-a-Punch to the Barracuda as well, this weapon looked gorgeous. It looked so good. I mean, I still talk about how much I love the World at War Pack-a-Punch camo, and to this day, whenever I play World at War, I am trying to get this weapon from the mystery box. Because of its insane clip size as well, the benefit that this MG42 had over the other LMG in the game, the Browning, is that with that buff fire rate, you get to mow down trains of zombies at a time with a significantly shorter reload time. The Browning, as much as I love it, had a slower fire rate, and yeah, the reload time was abysmal if you didn't have speed cola. And just in general, when you think about classic zombies, the MG42 is a weapon that comes to mind, if you were there at the beginning anyway. Because I know this weapon never made it to Black Ops 1, and so there's a sea of people who genuinely haven't experienced this weapon before. But I mean, look at this. Listen to that, feel it! This thing was a monster, that's all I'm saying. It was a beast. It definitely deserves a podium position in this list. It has to be done. Coming in at number 2 on this list though it has to be done. It is the Black Ops 1 M1911. Do I really need to run through this? I feel like I don't have to. Everyone knows that this was the best feeling starting pistol that ever came to zombies, and that's not glazing Black Ops 1. Okay, most people, even fans of the new era of Call of Duty Zombies like the Cold War and Black Ops 6 fans, can unanimously agree that this was the most iconic starting pistol that we ever got for zombies. It's still the best feeling, it's still the best sounding,
I need ammo!
and it's still the most satisfying. Let's not forget as well that Black Ops 1 introduced PhD Flopper in some later maps, and with that, when you pack-a-punch this thing and we were introduced to the Mustang and Sally, that's where you really have a good time. I mean, the weapon's already iconic naturally anyway, with that signature silver chrome finish. It was bliss. It was gorgeous. I still can't quite put my finger on why it felt so good to use. I feel like it was mainly the audio design that made this gun stand out. But seeing it for the first time rebirthed from the pack-a-punch machine as dual-wield f***ing grenade launchers, yeah, I mean, that was pretty iconic, to be honest. And since then, it became a staple for pretty much every Call of Duty Zombies game going forward. I mean, yes, it was already in World at War, but the World at War 1911, it was ass. It was terrible. Still cool that they did the grenade launcher thing when you pack-a-punched it, though, but it was only a single pistol, and it didn't feel as good. This was definitely the most refined version of the 1911, and still is, in my opinion. I don't really feel like much more needs to be said. I mean, yeah, everything. Animation, feel, sound, the radical change of what it actually does when it's pack-a-punched. And also not forgetting that every single person who spawns into zombies got this weapon, which meant that every player in the game could all be using Mustang and Sally's later on. I mean, I love that Treyarch made a starting weapon that's so valuable, even though it's not initially powerful, that pretty much everyone still kept it in their inventory. It is, without doubt, one of, if not the most iconic weapon in COD Zombies. Again, that isn't a wonder weapon. But I had to leave the number one spot for something that kind of just sits a little closer to my heart personally. But before we get to that, let's have an honorable mention. The honorable mention goes to the MP40. It has to be said, this weapon is probably the most iconic weapon, actually, now I think about it, if I'm being objective. But the only reason, I'll be real, the only reason why it's not actually ranked in this list is that I wanted some variation of weapons from different games, like throw a Black Ops 3 weapon in there and talk about the Galil from Black Ops 2, because I didn't want all of the weapons in this list to be from World at War, because that's probably what would have happened if I just made the list my way. I act like I'm not making this myself. You get my point. I wanted some variation, okay? So the MP40 sits as an honorable mention, and we'll just include part of the argument that it was in so many COD Zombies titles. So of course, the World at War version is my personal favorite. I feel it sounded the best, it felt the best, and the Pack-a-Punch variant, the Afterburner with that World at War camo, that looked so good. It had a decent ammo pool. I actually preferred the Thompson as a actual SMG to use in World at War, but the MP40 was so iconic. It was in every map. It made its way onto Black Ops 1 and was probably one of the most commonly used war weapons in Kino de Toten, and it found its way into many, many maps since then. It spanned 4 Black Ops titles, and then of course with the shift into the more modern era of COD Zombies, we haven't seen an MP40 since, unless you include Vanguard Zombies, but I personally don't. I mean, we're talking about the Black Ops universe here, and of course World at War is a part of that, and so the line of MP40s in Black Ops Zombies games ended at the end of Black Ops 4, and I suppose you can kind of mark the MP40 as a sign of the times, really, that things changed, and that... Am I reading too deep into this? Maybe. Just bring the MP40 back in Black Ops 7, okay, Treyarch? I'm watching you. Do it. Do it now. But overall, it had a respectable damage output. The ammo pool could have been better, but hey, it was a reliable war weapon that was pretty much in most of the maps you played. It was a very common war weapon in Kino, very common in pretty much all of the World at War maps, very commonly used in Origins as well. The design is iconic. Of course, it fits with the lore of COD Zombies as well when we talk about, you know, the origins of COD Zombies and what it's actually meant to be about. So yes, the MP40, it had to be mentioned in this list, and so it goes down as our honorable mention. But now, number one, the most iconic weapon, in my opinion, in all of COD Zombies, that's not a wonder weapon, is the PPSH. It's got to be the PPSH, right? My personal favorite, we're going with the World at War version. This weapon was a fucking beast. A fire rate that made my jaw drop as a kid, with having the largest ammo pool of any SMG in World at War by a landslide, all coming together to make this the most sought after weapon in the mystery box. It had an incredible DPS with that fire rate, and then when you couple it with double tap and you pack-a-punch it in Doris, I mean, I'm just going to play the clip. I think you get my point. Like the MG42, everyone was trying to get this weapon in the box. And the beauty of it, compared to the MG42, is that because it's an SMG, you actually have decent mobility and you're not running like you've shat yourself. Commonly, if you weren't getting the ray gun or the Wunderwaffe, you were striving to have both the MG42 and the PPSH in your inventory throughout this game. It was like the god loadout. It was the meta of the time. Not to mention the Pack-a-Punch variant looks genuinely beautiful. It had a very rapid reload speed because it's simply just a drum mag. And so pairing it all with speed cola and double tap, like I said, it was a fast-paced, rapid, quick-moving beast with loads of ammunition. It was perfect. It was simply perfect. Of course, this weapon made a reappearance in Black Ops 3. But before we get to that, in fact, you know what? I have a bone to pick, Treyarch. I have a bone to pick. October 29th, 1945, Project Nova, Black Ops 1 campaign. There was a PPSH in this mission. It was in Black Ops 1. It was refined. It looked like it had been retextured. It looked good. Why the fuck was it not in Zombies? This was the most criminal thing that they ever did. Black Ops 1, I regard as close to being the most perfect Zombies game in my opinion when you're evaluating it based on the time it released. Of course, Black Ops 1, you could argue it doesn't have challenges or camos or cooling cards and blah, 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 blah. This was ages ago, okay? We're not going to degrade it based on that, okay? At the time, this was a perfect Zombies game, except you had a PPSH and you didn't put it in. Is Black Ops 1 actually the worst Zombies mode of all time? Maybe. But anyway, yes, it returned in Black Ops 3 and I won't lie, they didn't cook it as good. It wasn't as well cooked. It was undercooked. It was raw, as Gordon Ramsay would say. Actually, no, you know what? I'd actually say it was a well done steak. It was all right. You'd still eat it, but you're like, why did you make it well done? You could. The Cold War version was actually pretty nice feeling, but again, the World War 1 reigned supreme in my opinion, and it was a truly, truly iconic weapon. It was insanely satisfying to use. The sounds of just the shots with that fire rate was, yeah, as a kid especially, was just so sick. I liked the animations. I liked the recoil balancing. It just felt so right. It felt perfect. And the World at War Pack-a-Punch camo on this weapon was just the icing on the cake. Now, to be fair, I haven't used the Black Ops 6 version of the PPSH yet. I've been meaning to get around to doing that on Shattered Veil. But either way, this PPSH clears the rest and secures its position as the #1 most iconic weapon in COD Zombies history, in my opinion. To be honest, I should have made a top 10 though, because I really wanted to include the Python. I really wanted to include the double barrel as well, because I love the double barrel shotgun. But hey, I'm just gonna wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.